according to some of my buddies on the Elite Series, they had, not according, they had this vote, and they were going to decide if they wanted to ban forward-facing sonar or not. And Bassmaster had told them, we will abide by the angler's decision on this. They had the vote. 58% of the Bassmaster Elite Series pros voted to ban forward-facing sonar from the Bassmaster Elite Series tournament. So this information was taken to the Bassmaster Advisory Board that Bassmaster has set up as far as the anglers to represent the voice of the anglers to Bassmaster. And the Bassmaster Angler Advisory Board decided to ignore this. There was only one person on the board that voted in line with the pros and say, yeah, I vote to ban forward-facing sonar from the tournaments. All the other anglers on that particular committee, which most of them are heavily forward-facing sonar Livescope addicts, they voted to ignore the will of the Elite Series pros. Almost a 60% margin voted to ban it, and ignore that. Guys, this is the biggest bunch of bullshit in the world. It's like, why even have the vote? It's like, if they're not gonna abide by what the majority of the pros want, and why don't they just say, this is a dictatorship, this isn't a democracy, we don't care what you think, have a seat, shut up, if you don't like it, go fish somewhere else. And apparently the argument amongst the advisory board is one of the guys saying, look, our young anglers need this technology to fish. That's how they were raised. They don't know how to fish very good without it. So we can't take forward-facing sonar away from these young anglers because that's the only thing they know how to do. That was the overwhelming gist of the argument against it, which totally goes against the complete vote with it. Now, obviously, Bassmaster has pressured them on this. There's no way that Bassmaster is going to say, you guys hash this out and you guys decide what you want to do, and we'll abide by it. The whole thing about this, it goes back to the fact that this is all about the sponsorships from the electronic companies. That's the only thing it is. And guys, here's one of the things that I'll say about it. If Bassmaster was such a strong organization and had such an incredible business model, why do they rely so heavily on the subsidies from the forward-facing sonar companies, the electronic companies, to keep them in business? If they had such a strong product that everybody wanted, they would have sponsors knocking down the doors. But instead, they have to kowtow to these major electronic companies that have billions of dollars in marketing or billions of dollars in profit every year for money. That's the only thing that's the only reason that we're even having this conversation here. So where do you go to it beyond this? Because Bassmaster, one of the things real quick I'll say about Bassmaster, you hear them all the time saying,